Hello and welcome to Who Are You? It's a Babylon 5 watchcast by a couple of former strangers who are now friends, who are still getting to know each other over one of their favorite shows from their childhood, Babylon 5. I'm Laura,
And I'm Xhafer.
and today we're going to recast our new favorite captain.
Yeah. Today we are recasting Captain Elizabeth Lochley.
Indeed. You know what's crazy about this?
What?
I think I've expressed so far a little bit of like trepidation about Captain Lockley and not necessarily knowing how I feel about her.
Yeah.
But after watching this episode and then having to recast her, it came to me so quickly.
Okay. I feel like we really get her cemented as a character in this episode.
Yeah, I think so, which I'm a little bit resentful about, but we'll get to that when we get to reviews. I won't spoil that for everyone. But I knew immediately what I wanted
Yeah.
when I thought about Lockley. And I want that actor who can give us a lot of deadpans that are very funny.
Okay.
I have 2 picks, and I will go with one of them first because unfortunately this person recently passed and we will
Um,
not be able to have this person in the reboot. But I immediately thought of Captain Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
oh yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I was like, I want Andre is it Braher?
I think so.
Brayer? I don't know how it's said, but, that's one of those things when you're reading it and you're like, depending on whatever origin of this word, it could be said many different ways,
Hmm.
and I haven't heard it recently, so Andre, I'm just gonna call him Andre. I feel like
Yeah.
he would be an excellent Lockley, yes?
Yes.
Just
100%.
bring bring all that Captain Holt energy, spill it out on the screen for me, and we love it. We love Captain Holt, right?
We
So,
do. God, Brooklyn
yeah.
Nine-Nine is such a good show.
Yes, I love everything about it, yeah. But since we can't have Andre, since,
Hmm.
he recently passed in this point in time, I was like, "Okay, who's another actor that could bring that for me?"
Yeah.
And my next would be Nick Offerman.
Okay.
Yeah, he just
Also
would be
can do
doing
that deadpan very
that
well.
just bring the Ron Swanson energy, and I'll be just fine.
Yeah. I
Um,
accidentally started rewatching Parks and Rec, and now I'm just tumbling through that
yeah.
right now. It's just like, oh, Parks and Rec is on, and then you end up watching all of it. So like, what episode was
Mhm.
that? Okay, and then you find it on streaming, and then you're just in season 6 on accident.
Yeah.
It's one of the best shows of the last ever.
I think we need that for our Babylon 5 reboot. We wanna wake up one day and realize that we've been awake for 72 hours watching all of the reboot. So, yes,
For
I
sure.
think that I need the deadpans, I need the comedy, I also need somebody who can deck Mr. Garibaldi. Or
Yeah,
I believe my Garibaldi pick was Tig Notaro, so I wanna see them go toe to toe. That's what I
that
need.
sounds fun. I did not consider my Garibaldi pick, but I did consider my Sheridan pick.
Yeah, do tell.
Um, so I want a a strong woman who can take no bullshit and send it right back. And for me, growing up with Starship Troopers in my early teens is a movie that
Sure.
very much comes to mind. And so I already cast Casper Van Dien as Sheridan. I think it
Mhm.
would be a lot of fun and also role appropriate for Dina Meyer to be Lockley.
Okay.
And then there's this fun alternate universe reality where their former marriage was during a bug invasion. Like you get the whole thing. Like it's not part of Babylon 5. You might make a coy joke. Maybe that's my SG1 watch through on Last Time On, which is not afraid to make jokes about actors' previous roles
Uh-huh.
at their own expense and really appreciating that and finding that very funny. Maybe that's coming through here.
Yeah.
But Dina Meyer, my pick.
Yeah, I like that. I like both of these.
Yeah,
I think we're putting together a bang up cast for the reboot, and that
for
somebody
sure.
just needs to call us.
Yeah, right? Give us
Yeah.
the keys. Please don't. Dear God.
Oh god, that would be so horrible. No, thank you.
I don't want to be responsible when that goes
Just
poorly
pick
because
one of
I
these
can't do
actors. Just pick one of these actors. I'll love it.
it.
All right.
We got some strange picks for some strange relations. Not really.
Nice.
That was not good. That was
No, I liked it.
okay. Well, we got
Don't be
season
so
5,
hard on
episode
yourself.
6, strange relations. Not everything needs to be a perfect segue.
The allure is strong though. Yeah.
I try.
I get it. Hey, did you love the shots when we opened this episode?
Yeah, this is another John C. Flynn, who is
Okay.
their cinematography guy doing the directing job this time. He's done
Mm,
a couple of episodes in the past. We've brought it up. And also, he's the guy that the guy Lanier lies to and says he's got a super contagious disease too in Space TSA.
right. We like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we see his name on the director credits, we expect a very heavy episode leaning into his cinematography style, and
Mhm.
this does not disappoint with
Yeah.
the curve of the ship and the station front and stuff. It's all
Mhm.
very well framed. That CGI shot, I really didn't like. It's good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Me too.
We open on that CGI shot, and then we go to Delenn confronting Lochley. She knows about her and John's past. Lockley has to keep it private, but Garibaldi is snooping just out of
Yeah.
frame.
Is he just following Lockley all the time?
I'd like to think so. Yeah.
He's definitely not doing his job, right?
He doesn't know how to do his job. He's a homeschool security guy who got in charge of the CIA somehow. He has no idea what to do. So
He
he's
has
just
failed upwards. He is Peter Principle.
100%. In fact, it's no longer the Peter principle. It is the Garibaldi principle. We're renaming it in
Yes.
honor of this fictional character who embodies it so thoroughly.
Yes. Yes. I think he's hired those telepaths, right? And he's like, I'm just going to let them do things and come to me. And I'm just going to follow Lockley around the station all day.
He is Wile E. Coyote, and Lockley is the Roadrunner.
100% yes.
And he feels he's Daffy Duck is the most ironic part of it all.
Mhm.
A ship arrives to escort Londo to Centauri Prime. He describes the situation, including his concerns about his fate, to Zach in the observation lounge. He knows this is the point of no return. Fuck you, season 3, episode 9. This is it. Not that one. This one.
This one that's all about me and
Yeah.
not just about the whole show and the universe.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Very Londo. On brand.
The shuttle explodes to theme, and we
Ah.
come back to find an 11-hour repair time as a Psycor cruiser pulls in. Now, my question to you, because we finished this episode,
Mhm.
this is the shuttle that is supposed to take Londo to the Centauri ship that explodes at the end of the episode. It
Wait,
came from the
what?
Centauri cruiser that we see explode later, right?
Okay.
And this is why he can't get on because of this accident here. He can't get on the big cruiser, which then explodes. So
Okay.
the shuttle explodes and then the big ship explodes.
Uh-huh. Sure.
The shuttle explodes because it backs up into a wall. Just
Yeah, it
driver
seems
error.
right. It seems like it's just operator error. He's just dicking around and not doing what Corwin told him to and then explode.
Yeah, he's like Mariner turning off the autopilot, but he doesn't know what he's doing.
Sure. Yes. Okay.
And it's just like, I have to wonder if this is on purpose. What are we don't see ships explode very often outside of
True.
space battle. And they seem to
Mhm.
be pretty self-sufficient and moderately automized. How does this happen to the same ship twice in an episode? An error causes something to explode or a bomb or something. Like, it
Yeah.
seems ridiculous.
Right. And
So much so that it,
this
it makes me wonder if it's not an accident.
yeah, there's a lot of holes in this Londo plot, which I wanted to ask you to pull up the episode description because I could have sworn when you read it to me a week, 2 weeks, whatever it was
Oh, it
ago.
was quite different than the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
thought it led off with Londo's assassination attempt,
yeah.
which is not a big part of this episode at all.
So I am now with the Blu-ray release. I have gone
Mhm.
over from watching these on streaming to not watching these on streaming, right? And
Okay.
so all of my episode descriptions are automated from a website called MovieDB, which has an API you can pull from to get stuff because I'm running it off of a media server, whole thing. I don't need to get into it. But the descriptions, as I particularly noticed because halfway through this episode, I switched from watching it on my media server to watching it streaming because I changed my physical location in my house and I didn't have something set up. And I saw the different description and was just like, holy shit. Like, huge difference.
That's what I thought. So, remind me what that description was that you read to me a couple weeks ago.
Bester arrives at the station to arrest the down below telepaths, and Lando barely escapes an assassination attempt when the ship he was about to board explodes.
I feel like that last sentence overplays the drama of this particular problem.
Agreed. The voodoo description is the
Uh-huh.
secret of Sheridan and Lochley's past marriage is revealed.
Okay.
Psycorp's cop Bester tracks down the rogue telepaths. Lando's life is endangered, and Jakaro is assigned as Lando's bodyguard, which
Okay,
is
that's
a
yeah.
3-sentence summarization of this entire episode, leaving nothing to imagination.
Yeah. Both of those descriptions I feel are bad. Honestly, I didn't feel like Londo's life was in danger at any point.
It wasn't. He was fine the entire time.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I feel like you said, this shuttle explosion seems suspicious, but I don't feel like the episode really supported that at all or tried to lead us in that direction or
No.
because we have Captain Lockley out here looking at the destruction or the damage for some reason. Again,
Hmm.
why is the captain doing this? Oh, she's there to bust some guy's balls about getting it fixed, right?
Hmm.
That's the only reason she's there.
Yeah, his pinup poster is not up to regs.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Um so I feel like that would have been the time to be like, there's like bomb residue or something, you know? But
Yeah.
I didn't catch any of that. Maybe it was there and I missed it.
I don't think it was. And I don't think this episode does a particularly good job of following up on the things that it set up like that.
And I'll just go ahead and say this here. Like, I had a terrible time taking notes on this episode because I kept having to pause because there was so much crammed in it that we'd be well onto the next scene that I needed to make notes about. And I'm still making notes about the scene before. So I kept having to stop.
Yes, this is one of those like late season 4 episodes where it's
Hmm.
like so much happens. Yet I only have 3 pages of notes compared to my normal 5.
Really? I
They're
have
just
about the normal length.
concise. There's there I'll warn you now, listener. I don't got a whole lot of jokes prepped for this one.
We're gonna have to try to do it on the fly, right?
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Right? It's going to be one of those ones where I'm throwing shit up against the wall and hoping it sticks. And
Hmm.
hopefully I find a good joke in there somewhere, but normally I have 5 pages of notes and probably a half dozen jokes of some variety to make in
Yeah.
my notes at least. And I got fucking nothing. And
Yeah.
maybe I'm just tired. We
I
are
mean,
recording
mhm,
uh the week in between Christmas and New Year's,
the
which
confusing week.
right, the lost week.
Yeah.
And there's been a handful of personal stressors in my life in regards to it being the lost week.
Yeah.
And it's I'll talk about it eventually, but I can't talk about it on pod right now.
Mhm,
um,
sure.
but yeah, it's been a week and I am just tired. I don't know.
And there's a lot here in this episode, as we see, because the big whole assassination plot was relegated to C plot somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also it's hard to make jokes about assassination attempts and
Yeah.
like people being arrested that shouldn't be because they're refugees and stuff.
Right.
Like there's it's heavy
Those are
and
heavy topics, yeah.
it's heavy in the worst way, which is a casual way because it
Yeah.
doesn't the episode is trying to do so much, it doesn't spend a lot of time to let these things breathe so that you can Think about how terrible they are,
Yeah. And speaking of terrible, we're cutting to the next scene where Lita's looting Med Lab for supplies for
right?
the island of misfit telepaths. Like, that's really dark if you think about it. And this episode
Yeah,
doesn't give you very long to sit with it.
terrible. Franklin's up front. It's like they can just come up here and get this stuff. And it's all like, no, they can't. You don't
Hmm.
understand what Psycor has put them through. They are
Hmm.
not going to go sit down in a lab with a doctor. That is trauma for them.
Yeah. And even just coming up from down below is probably trauma because if there's anyone that recognizes who and what they are, they're going to get slurs thrown at them or they're going to get possibly assaulted or it's going to be
Hmm.
unpleasant, right? So asking
Yeah.
them to just come to a doctor is asking a bit much.
Also, like, two things on Franklin here. I've got two sides of the same coin. One, he should have a reputation with telepaths as being someone that's trustable. Like, he
That's
did run
true.
the underground telepath railroad for a while. But
Mhm.
by the same token, he ran the underground telepath railroad for a while. You didn't ask those people to come to MedLab. You notably were running a fake underground clinic down below to
Mhm.
help them.
Correct.
What is so inconvenient about doing that now, asshole?
Yeah. If one
What
understands this,
circumstances have changed? None.
yeah, he should understand this. He should know that he needs to go to them and meet the community where it's at because this community is not going to inherently trust him.
Exactly. And we have 30 seconds for that in this entire episode.
Yeah, and
That's
we
how tight
really
this
could have
episode
spent
is.
we should have
So
spent longer. Yeah.
I need to go back and listen to the Yum Yum on this one because I'm sure they will go into it much deeper than we will. But yeah, it's man, this episode, it's just fucking it's so much.
Did you notice when we go down in the next scene to the island of misfit telepaths, we've had a nice little Anne Rice vampire den makeover?
Oh yeah.
Lots of candles, lots of velvet curtains.
Yeah, not at all
Yeah.
culty. Um
No,
have you watched the new
that's
AMC?
no.
Oh, it's so good, Laura. Like truly, if you are a fan of Anne Rice's work at all, it is
Okay.
100% worth your time to watch the new Interview with a Vampire. The
Okay.
thing that they do, and I know I've talked about racial recasting in various regards in the past. This one had a little bit of people hating on it because they recast Louis as a black man. But god damn, does that make that character just 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
Like, it takes so Louis as a character, has this, like, anger about him, right? But
Sure.
he's like an aristocrat. It's this very, like, petulant, like, "Oh, I didn't get my way," anger, kind
Mhm.
of a thing, and he's supposed to be insufferable, and he is in a lot of reason ways for that, because that anger is not righteous at all. And
Uh-huh.
instead, it takes that anger and places it as a black man in New Orleans at the
Mm.
turn of the 18th, the turn of the 19th century. And it's just like his anger, he does the same things. He still behaves the way he behaves, but it takes it from being a petulant, whining anger that is undeserved to a very righteous anger against the people who have discriminated against him for no other reason than his skin. And it
Yeah, I
com
like that twist.
yeah, it completely shifts the story, and just makes it 100 times better, in my opinion. Even Anne Rice, who passed away while they were working on the show, but was involved in the very beginning stages of it,
Mhm.
has gone on record of saying, "I wish I had the courage to write Louis as black in the original novel, because this is an improvement. This is better. This makes things make more sense."
I love that. I love when we put a more timely spin on things, like things that maybe we didn't notice or acknowledge 30 years ago or whenever
Mhm.
things were written or first developed, and we just twist it a little bit and put some more stank on it. I love it.
Yeah, but totally worth your time. Go watch it.
Okay. But anyway,
Yeah.
Lita's got vitamins.
Yeah, Lita's got vitamins to help Byron sleep. Get him that space Ambien, yo. Why are you bringing him vitamins? V vitamins ain't
Yeah.
gonna help that man sleep.
There's gotta
Maybe
be
some
something in a
melatonin.
tube now, right? That you just, like, into the neck and
Anti-stims? Let's ask Franklin.
yeah.
Buster rolls in with a bunch of bloodhound psychops. A security mook pops in the office of Zach, but he's busy taking a shit. So Garibaldi finds out Bester is on board and he is just running.
Oh, man. This okay, I've been giving Garibaldi a lot of shit. I do understand why he has emotions about this. He
Yeah.
is still not right in how he is handling it, but I certainly understand the impetus.
I would like to think that I am in control of myself enough to behave better than he does here.
Uh-huh.
I can't say that for certain. I'd
Yeah.
really like to think that I am emotionally mature enough to not react how he does here. But hard to say.
Yeah, this is actually the more, like, understandable of Garibaldi's actions since season 5 began than
Yeah.
any of the other ones. This feels earned and motivated. Not that the writing hasn't been earned and motivated for Garibaldi, it's just that he's the person that is doing these things and shouldn't be doing these things and is wrong most of the time.
Yeah.
But this one, I'm like, "Okay, I finally empathize with you."
Yeah. So he gets to Lockley's office just in time to get punched. Classic Lockley.
Yeah, I enjoyed this a lot, even though I understood where he was coming from.
Yeah.
And I also enjoyed the fact that she's sitting chilling with Bester, like, being an adult,
Yeah.
and but you know what? We see later that beneath the surface, she is a schemin'. She is trying to figure out how to make this
Mhm.
work justly, even though she's gotta follow certain procedures and protocols.
Yeah. Franklin gets offered a gig in the Interstellar Alliance he can't turn down. Meanwhile, Jakar feels unfulfilled in his current role and wants to do more. Careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking it's like the Narn genocide didn't even exist sometimes to season 5.
Yeah.
Like, Jakar should be worrying about, like, rebuilding at home and what can the Alliance do to help us with this, and everything is still very fresh, but we've just kind of hand waved it away for a little bit.
Yeah, we've forgotten about it so that we can
Yeah.
have Londo and Jakar be buddies and make jokes.
Mhm. And it doesn't feel like Jakar to me. Like, yes, he is a great buddy and great at jokes, but he cares a lot about Narn. We know that. For 4 seasons, he's cared deeply about Narn.
I hate this part. I
Yeah.
hate Jakar's Londo's bodyguard. It's completely nonsensical. We'll talk more about it when we
Yeah,
get to
we'll
that
get
part of the
there.
episode.
Sure.
First, Sheridan comes to dress down Lockley about stopping Garibaldi from breaking off a piece of Bester, but she turns it around on him pretty quickly.
Girl's got logic.
I'm still Earth Gov. This is an Earth Force uniform I'm wearing. They're
Mhm.
part of my government, and your agreement with the Interstellar Alliance gives them self governance.
Mhm. Mhm.
Fuck you, just because it's inconvenient for you.
Right. Yeah. And he reluctantly comes around. He realizes, like, oh, right. I can't be above the laws that I'm making.
Right?
That's bad. That would
That's the
be a bad thing.
whole point. You literally
Yeah.
just fought a war over this exact thing. Admittedly, a significantly different scale, but
Mhm.
still the same thing.
Yeah. He still wants to do right by the telepaths, but he's seeing that, oh no, if I start doing this, then I'm a Clark and someone's coming after me,
Mhm.
It's only a matter of time.
Londo misses his ship out, which promptly explodes.
Whoa.
Yep.
But we don't even see what detains Londo. Why does he miss the ship? We're
The
told.
ship, it's the shuttle. The shuttle bay is so fucked they can't get a ship in to take
Oh,
him
okay.
out, I guess.
Yeah. But we don't see Londo reacting to this. We don't see Londo discussing this with anyone.
And also, a Psychor shuttle lands immediately afterwards. Literally, the explosion
Yeah.
happens, and we see the Psychor ship flying into land.
Is
What's
there a
going on
different
there?
bay? But why
Well, we
can't
know
we
there's
bring.
there's
Yeah.
several bays. That's what the big round thing is. It's full of ship stuff, isn't it?
Sure.
There's a whole
Okay. I
bunch of
don't
stuff
know.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like you could just tell me that it's the Psychor ship because it's an Earth ship can dock directly with the station and doesn't need the thing that's broken that all the other alien ships need, right?
Uh-huh.
That
Yeah,
would make
sure.
sense. There would be that thing there. There would be a way to get a Earth military shuttle to have troops on there in a way that isn't necessarily the main way everyone uses. That's something that would exist on an Earth
Mhm.
designed military station.
Could see that, yeah.
Just say the fucking thing. Don't
There's no
make me
time, Jafar.
sit here and guess.
Yeah. This episode is crammed. There's no time.
Yeah, we can tell. Zack and Lockley discuss the explosion, point to an assassination attempt on Lando from a Centauri source. The explosives were Centaurian origin.
Okay, we at least got that.
And she decides she's going to go beat the shit out of Garibaldi for reals.
Somehow we leap from discussing this explosion to seeing that her file has been accessed by Garibaldi's code and
Mm-hmm.
she's ready to throw down finally. She's going to do the Sheridan Morden.
Yeah. Get the hell off my station. Bester is down below on the hunt, and Lita tells him to fuck off, psychically slapping the bloodhounds.
Interesting.
Bester brings up an interesting point here. Is this
Yeah.
actually telekinesis? Or are you stimulating nerve endings in their brain to make them feel like they're being slapped? What an interesting distinction that is.
It is. And I feel like saying that kind of sets it up for like, oh, maybe are we going to find out more about Lita's powers
Yeah.
after the Vorlon alteration? I sure hope we are, but I don't know if we are.
Well, and we've seen her do stuff like this in a similar manner where she's held shadow ships. It's like, are you physically holding the ship or are
Right.
you controlling the pilot and making them do the thing? It's the same basic principle. And it's something that I
Either
don't think has
way.
been answered definitively. And I think
Yeah,
it
no.
does matter.
Yeah. Well, either way, she's obviously very strong now, but we've heard
Yeah.
before that our attempts to make telekinesis a stronger power have resulted in insane telepaths, right?
Yeah.
That was back in season 1 with Mr. Ironheart, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, she didn't get pizza with Zach, so her judgment is suspect.
Poor Zach.
Hmm.
I'm Team Zach over Team Byron. He's creepy as hell.
Oh, for sure. For sure. If I've got to
Stupid greater
pick,
than creepy.
if I'm playing matchmaker,
Mhm.
but I'm not. I'm just silently observing fictional characters.
Right, right. Oh boy, but yeah, I want to know. Do we
Yeah.
have telekinesis? Do we have extremely strong telepathy? Or are we going to go insane? That could be fun. Well, you know what I mean,
Fun.
but
Air quotes.
right, right. Anyway, it leaves a door open for lots of possibility.
Yeah, they retreat under threat of accidentally getting stroked.
Seems
Yikes.
bad.
Yeah. Byron reveals himself after they leave. The Teeps will space themselves out, or whoa, per word choice. The Teeps will spread themselves out amongst the station to hide, and Byron kisses Lita.
Mm.
Ooh.
No, it doesn't feel good. I don't like it.
No, I'm not a fan. Lockley confronts Garibaldi to try and hash shit out. He doesn't trust anyone, get over it. Bester and her have a little bit of a positive history, but she's upfront. I don't care if you get your revenge, as long as it's quiet and not in front of me.
Yeah. I think that's reasonable. I think that's a good thing.
I mean,
to
Garibaldi thinks it's reasonable. He's all like, well, okay, cool.
Yeah, let's do this. Hey, this thing that she talks about, this incident where Bester helped her out,
Mhm.
did this seem like it was in one of our books? I think
I
this
think
story might have been.
so.
Yeah.
I think this was in one of our books. Yeah. I don't,
Yeah.
it's been a while since we've read that one. But I
Mhm.
do think that was in Dead Relations, Psychor book 2.
Yeah, I think that was one of our stories. She wasn't mentioned, but it's nice to hear a call to one of the things that was
Yeah.
our supplemental material.
Yeah, we get another shout out to that too with his interaction with Byron at the end. Bester's interaction with Byron. That said, I'm curious as to when the book was written and when these episodes were written. if they put these things in so that they could put it in a book later, or if this book was already written so they factored stuff into the episodes,
Yeah.
or if
Either
it's
way, it's
all
fun.
simultaneous. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. But which was first, the chicken or the egg? Yeah.
Gotta know. Finally, Lockley and Garibaldi discuss her appointment. She was appointed because she can be a symbol for the other side, but will still back Sheridan when he's right and call bullshit when he's not. And he knows that from their failed marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today.
Xhafer, I hate this.
Yeah, you should.
I hate this because what the plot is implicitly implying is that men and women cannot have close relationships without them being romantic. And
Yeah,
we could not have this trust that Ivanova and Sheridan had with this new person without throwing romance in there.
yeah, that's something that it's prevalent from male writers in particular, I notice, and it's very fucking
Yeah.
skeezy every time.
Yeah.
I don't mean to say anything about the negative about the Great Maker in regards to his personal life, mostly because I don't know anything about it to judge him. Maybe after I read Becoming Superman, I might feel differently,
Mhm.
but probably not, because considering it's an autobiography. I don't know enough. It feels weird. It feels forced. It
Mhm.
feels lazy, to be perfectly honest.
And it feels like it undercuts women, like, that, then little girls like me who watch this and then have to go out into the workforce, or have the workforce that has had this message throughout all sorts of media that men and
Hmm.
women can't just work together and be close and trust one another, like, there has to be a romantic component, and I don't
Right?
know,
It's so frustrating.
it is very frustrating, so don't like this plot, would take out of reboot.
Yeah. I mean, there is a way to even include that. I mean, and they say, I'm not carrying the torch for each other and stuff. Like,
Mhm, sure. Now we're gonna work together professionally. They're not gonna have, like,
yeah,
a rekindling of anything or an affair, so that's good, but
yeah. It's just like, yeah, he trusts me because we were married for 3 months. Just like, that's, ugh. I mean, that is something that happens in the military, though, too.
Yeah.
Um, I know people it's happened to, uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
who have done that thing. I know a couple people that's happened to. And it's just like, that can happen. That does not need to be the reason that he trusts you, though.
Right, right.
Um,
There could have been some other it's the military. High intensity situations happen all the time. You could
mhm,
have some kind of event that you went through together and you're like, "Hey, we were in that trench together. I trust this person with my life," you know?
yeah.
Doesn't have to be marriage. It
That
doesn't have to
that
be
means
romantic.
more, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about a military setting in the first place, so having that kind of military situation being the reason for that trust is great. That's a good logical thing to do.
And professional. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just this whole third wife plot just really doesn't hit for me and it's very disappointing.
Yeah. Zach calls for the request for security's help. Luckily says to send exactly what they need, no more. Garibaldi stays locked up until Bester is off the station. Lita watches a telepath get got to commercial. We come back to her creeping blue sector, seeing the caught dude. Bester smiles. It feels terrible. Just like everything else in this fucking episode that we can't give enough time to breathe to actually. Ugh.
Yeah. She hears Byron calling out to her,
Hmm.
and for some
Why
reason,
does he
no one
do
else.
this?
Yeah.
This is like the least secure. Like, you're literally actively hiding from telepaths. So you just like put up a fucking billboard on the side of the road.
These are very good telepaths. We know Bester at least is very good. His bloodhounds have been personally selected, so
Yeah.
theoretically they are also very good. Like, why would you just broadcast I mean, I don't know. that maybe that's not an open channel, but it feels like it.
I mean, he does immediately tell her that he's going to turn himself over.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe this is just, he does it that way. That's
Yeah.
it's like, oh,
Like,
I got
I've already
15
done
minutes.
it, so you
Yeah.
can't stop me.
Yeah.
Yeah. She tries to beg him not to go, but he's gonna do the martyr thing.
Yep. Lockley convenes with the senior staff to try and find a solution or a loophole. No luck until talking to Franklin, where she gets an idea, courtesy
Yeah,
of
Franklin
Delenn.
just wants to throw in his whole thing, his whole promotion in the
Yeah.
Alliance while
By the
we're trying to
way,
deal with this
I got
crisis.
good news today. And everyone else is all like, it's the worst fucking day. Why are
Yeah.
you bringing this up?
There's this big thing that's on fire, but I got a new job.
Ugh.
Yeah. But hey, we needed that because that gives her a brilliant idea.
Mm-hmm. Byron gets caught by the bloodhounds as they slow-mo
Hey,
down a hallway.
were you confused? Did you feel like this wasn't real or
Yeah,
something was
this felt weird. Yeah.
I was so confused. I was like, is it a setup? Is he about to like destroy these guys? I didn't get it.
I initially wrote Byron fucks with the bloodhounds and had to cross it out
Yeah.
because I
No,
thought something was going on.
I wrote Byron is attacked, maybe? Question mark. So
Uh,
weird.
yeah, speaking of so weird, after this is when Delenn asked Shakar to be Londo's bodyguard. Like, what the fuck? She's like, oh, what a symbol it will be for a Narn to do it. And it's all like, yeah, remember 2 seasons ago when you had that badass Narn bodyguard with a sword? Where's my boy? Talon? Whatever? Yeah, where's he
Yeah.
at? Fucking,
He's
what's
not
going on
following
there?
Sheridan around anymore.
Right? We know that. He fucked up. Sheridan died.
I mean, he should have been following Sheridan around again, right? Because now the Narn are part of the Alliance. Sheridan should probably have
Have a
like a secret
bodyguard.
service. Yeah,
Right?
like this would be a great time to have him back. This show is just missing out.
Ugh. Yeah, such a
Yeah.
disappointment. We'll have
There's so
Jakar do
many
it.
things. So many things wrong with that. Like, never mind that the Narn have been subjugated by the Centauri for a long time in history and again recently.
Yeah.
Let's just put this guy
Who
underneath
who was
another
tortured
Centauri.
in this room by the Centauri Emperor.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, a Narn in the throne room of the Centauri. Ha 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 ha. That will be so juicy and funny." And it's like, wasn't juicy and funny before. He's definitely been in that room, and he should definitely be mad about it.
Yeah. It's so fucked. It's so fucked and it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Lockley won't hand the Teeps over because they might have some unknown viruses. They need to be quarantined 60 days until Bester can take them.
Yeah, okay. So,
Cool.
he's just gonna leave, huh? Gonna take all his bloodhounds with him? Not gonna leave anybody behind to, like, watch for 60 days?
Yeah. Just, I would 100% be like, cool. I guess I'm staying on the station for 60 days. And if our cameo budget can't afford to pay me for that time in the next 4 or 5 episodes, I'm going to leave 2 of these non-speaking bloodhound extras to walk around in background for the next 60 days.
Yeah, this is so weird.
They're not leaving Byron's side the entire time. We're already all exposed to the virus, so we must be quarantined too. I was just
Yeah.
talking to this guy. Of course I'm quarantined as well. That would make sense.
Yep. Yep, but he just, like, takes it with a frowny face.
Yeah,
Well,
Bester
I
could have
guess
just
I'll be
like
back.
kissed Byron right here and been all like, I'm also infected. Guess I'm waiting. Can't leave for 60 days. Put me in the same room.
Yeah. This is just okay.
Ugh.
And so Lockley is just gonna leave the door open on her way out and let the telepaths go after Bester's gone.
Mm-hmm.
She tells him that she's bought him some time, and then the telepaths all get back together.
Yep.
And the way that Lita looks at him is definitely not creepy at all.
Yeah. And then the Teeps have a Glee Club meeting.
So this is the song, huh?
Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
I have to talk about something else before we get to this.
Okay, go for it.
Fucking Lochley here talks about with Corwin over dinner real quick about solving the immediate problem and then solving the next problem. And her example is jumping out of a burning building on the 7th story.
Okay, yeah.
I've solved the immediate problem. Now I've got 2 seconds to solve the falling problem. Instead of like figure a way down to the 6th floor, which is the same analogy, just makes much more sense. But it
Yeah.
feels like the script writing for this episode was solving the immediate problem and jumping out the fucking window. Hey, I found a joke.
You did find a joke and it was very good. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Ugh.
Yeah. Delenn hooks up Londo and Jakar and sends him off to Centauri Prime.
Yeah.
And we have more jokey jokes from them about window versus aisle.
What's the deal with airplane peanuts?
Do you think Londo reclines his seat? 100%. 100%
Yeah.
he does. And Jakar
He
never
does, yeah.
does.
Nope. And Jakar is very nice to the waitress, right? Or
Yeah.
the steward.
Yeah, Londo's like, where's my breviary, even though it has to be stored at these ridiculous conditions, otherwise it tastes terrible, knowing that we're on an airplane.
He wants that bad little tiny bottle of Brevari, doesn't he?
100%. And he's going to try and get it for free, even though he's the emperor.
Yeah. No matter how short this flight is, too. He wants it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Could be 20 minutes. Could be a puddle jump. Doesn't matter. Where's my breviary?
And then Glee Club.
Yeah.
Okay. Why are they singing with their human mouths?
They don't speak the entire time. That's their thing. It's all like, we only see them speak when Lita's there or they're talking to another character. And most of the time we don't even hear occasionally I think they've cut in and played some like audio with mouths closed, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, the whole thing is that they don't speak. Why the fuck are they singing? They should be singing telepathically.
Right? And here's the thing, like, my human mouth and vocal cords have limitations, right?
Yeah.
I'm only going so low and I'm only going so high and I'm only doing such things. If I'm telepathically singing with my mind, my voice can be whatever I want it to be.
Yeah.
It could be so interesting.
Right.
But we're sitting here choosing to sing with our mouths. And
how much
fine,
cooler would this scene have been? Even if it's the same audio and just everyone's mouths are closed the entire time. You just don't see them physically singing. It would be so much cooler. And it'd be so easy.
Yeah. Especially now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lead is watching on from some shadows or something.
Yeah,
right?
she takes off her badge and gloves.
Oh, yes. She joins and she takes off the badge and gloves.
She's one of them.
I suppose.
Officially.
Yeah. Ta-da. Okay, Xhafer. I feel like we've hinted at it a little bit, but I really want to know. How do you rate this episode on our scale of Babylon's 1 to 5?
There are worse episodes in this season.
Truly, yeah.
And this episode, it's not great. It definitely has its faults. But is it as bad as it could have been? Is that where we're at with this scale right now? That's season 5 of Babylon 5. I'm no longer asking myself, could this episode have been better with one small tweak? I'm now asking myself, could this episode have been worse with one small tweak?
Uh-huh.
And I think it could have been. So I'm going to give it a 2.
It definitely could have been worse. Yes, I'm at there. I think it is below average. I think this episode should have been 2 episodes. Yes, right?
I mean, no, only because I don't want any of the things that happen in this episode to happen.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, if we have to have an assassination plot, it should have been bigger and it should have been its own.
Well,
he's
just going for the tally at this point. How many assassination plots have we had in Babylon 5? How many did I predict or write in the story Bible 10 years ago? Okay, let me add another couple real quick. Check them off. Because there's more to come still. There are more assassination plots on the road ahead. And it's not a long road ahead.
Yeah. I feel like there could be more Londo assassination plots ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, he's emperor now of a very, unstable race. They've just lost a big conflict. And
yeah,
I feel like that's assassination fodder.
You know what I want? what I really want
Yeah.
this to be. I do want this to be a two-parter. I want to
Okay.
push back our next episode, our next 2 episodes probably, right?
Sure.
Um, Maybe combine a little bit of our next episode and pull some stuff from a couple episodes ahead,
Mhm.
bring it here, and just end this telepath storyline with a two-parter of Bester on the station.
Yeah. Then you get more Bester.
Yeah, give me a two-parter of him actively hunting these telepaths, show Lita's crisis of conscience, and have her
Mhm.
help at the beginning still, but then she gets pulled into the Psycor side of things a bit more than she does in this, against
Yeah,
her will,
sure.
and Bester is shitty to her, and that's one of the reasons. She remembers how terrible the Psycor is.
Yeah.
Sees the alternative, realizes she made a mistake, she doesn't need them. And then give
Mhm.
us like give us cool telepathic stuff. Have them sing with their minds, have them do cool shit to fuck with the bloodhounds and drag it out over a couple of episodes. Over 2 episodes, you could do all kinds of cool stuff where they're like running down that hallway and then Byron's not there. And just make it a
Yeah.
fucking
Mhm.
house of mirrors down below with these telepaths fucking with the bloodhounds. Make us
I think that's way
question
more
reality.
interesting. Yeah.
Like, go fucking watch the Doctor Strange movie with the shit and the transforming. Well, obviously they couldn't have done that back in the day. The CGI was not there for that. But like the things where like the floors become the walls and shit, and all the
Mhm.
cool shit that they do in that movie. Give us
Yeah.
that shit. That'd be
Give us
so cool.
just even some bloodhound nosebleeds. Like they're chasing somebody and then all of a sudden something happens to them or we see them suffer a little bit. We see a little back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
lots of cat and mouse. Like you make this 2 episodes somehow, you get more of that.
Give
And it
us an
would be more
answer with
impactful.
Lita, too. Ugh. Yeah, I like our
Yeah.
episodes better.
Definitely no personal bias there.
Yeah, it's
None at
almost
all.
like we've had 30 years to think about how we'd improve a thing that we don't like, instead of 2 weeks to write an episode of television.
So weird. But yeah, I would go with a 2. It's a little bit below average to me, but
Mm-hmm.
the materials are there. It's just all crammed together too fast. So tell me, what are we going to do next time?
Next up, we have Season 5, Episode 7, Secrets of the Soul. A telepath is
Yeah.
assaulted, and the others vow revenge. The Hayek are hiding their medical history, and Dr. Franklin tries to find out why.
Oh, this feels like maybe something that was hinted at in this episode.
Yeah,
Could be. I don't know. Yeah. Secrets of the Souls really sounds like it should involve a soul hunter, though, right?
it does. And the Hayek kind of look like them. Like looking at the
Oh.
little thumbnail there. And the Soul Hunter movie aired in between a couple of these episodes, if memory serves.
Interesting.
But we'll do
River of
that
Souls, yes?
after. Yeah, River of Souls. We're gonna do that after season 5.
Yeah.
Well, that's that. All we have left to do is say thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeremy Siegel. We really love our theme music, and we wouldn't have it without you. You're the only Jeremy Siegel as far as we're concerned when it comes to composing music. You can find more of Jeremy's work at jeremysiegel42.bandcamp.com and on your streaming services as Nuclear Jaguar.
And thank you to Angry Duck Time Machine on Instagram for our podcast artwork.
Thanks, Aaron, for editing this podcast. We know this one was rough with my internet cutting out halfway through the recording and everything else that happened. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a heavy lift. So sorry. And thank you to you, the listener, for being here with us. We enjoyed sharing this with you. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And if you want to talk more about this episode or others, you can join us on our Discord or
Yeah.
email us at whoareyoub5@gmail.com.
We're on the Blue Sky as well.
Yeah, and Facebook.
Yeah.
We'll interact with you wherever you want.
Social media. I hate it. All right. Well, we'll see you next week, Internet.
Bye.